A potential lead in a cold case from 20 years ago, and that new clue is the result of a Fox 5 report. You may remember this image we showed you 2 weeks ago. This new reconstruction, created from pictures of the child's skull, was released by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The child's identity is unknown, but he's believed to have been between 4 and 8 years old. His remains were found behind a DeKalb County cemetery off Clifton Springs Road. Fox 5 covered that case way back in 1999. Fast forward 20 years, and now our former Fox 5 reporter who broke the story has launched a podcast in search of answers. Inside Crime with Angeline Hartman is in its 3rd episode now, but it was our story about the new forensic image that motivated one Fox 5 viewer to call.
I was just watching the news and I saw it pop up and I said, I wonder if that has to be the same little boy that my mom was talking about.
The woman says her mother is retired now, but she worked with local students for nearly 3 decades. After seeing our story about the 20-year mystery of an unidentified little boy, the woman called Fox 5 saying that her mother might have answers.
Fox 5 helped put me in touch with this woman and her mother. And it turns out this mother has thought about this child for a long time. She says she always remembered this child and wondered whatever happened to him. He was in her classroom one day, and then all of a sudden, he just stopped showing up at school.
I'm not trying to get these people in trouble. It's just that little boy looks like the little boy I knew.
The retired educator says she wants to keep her name out of it for now, but she did talk to Hartman on the record for her Inside Crime podcast.
There was something about him that was kind of sad, and something like he was a sweet little boy. He was maybe a little devilish, maybe. You know, you tell them don't get up, they get up. Maybe he was hard-headed, but I admired him because he always dressed nice. He always. And those Timberlands had just come out at that time.
Those Timberlands were one of the few clues investigators had to go on 20 years ago. The DeKalb medical examiner says his body was carefully placed at the cemetery and had been there for months.
Still disturbs me that, number one, that someone could actually conceal a small child in the wood line at a cemetery.
The director of the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office says the renewed attention has created new momentum in the case.
We all want to solve this case, and after 20 years, the only way that's going to happen now is if we get help from the viewers and the listeners.
I think it's still solvable. I think that if we continue to put it out to the public, I'm hoping to touch the heartstrings of someone involved to provide us some closure. Dennis needs to find a resting place.
Investigators are following up on that new lead. Anyone who thinks they may know something about this case should contact the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office, or you can call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. That number, 1-800-THE-LOST.